This is Arc Analysis.
This is.
Arc Analysis.
This is.
Arc Analysis.
This is.
Arc Analysis.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe wherever you find podcasts. We are Comic Patrol.
Comicpatrolpod at Gmail.
Hey,
Comic Patrol Pod on IG.
we should be Comic Patrol Troll Pod.
Pod. Yeah, no, I'd like.
So we could troll comics instead.
That would be
Damn
great.
it.
Troll.
Stat Boy, write that down. That's a good.
Troll.
We got to get that handle before someone else takes it. Comic
Patrol. You want to change his name?
Comic Patrol.
From Comic Patrol to Comic Troll. Comic
Troll.
Just add an L.
Yeah, that's a good alter ego. We just shit on everything. I'm not mad at that, to be honest with you.
Neither am I.
That's got legs.
Yeah,
that's got wheels.
It only took us 106 Arc Analysis to get there.
Well, we were spending time working on the intro. And we still haven't locked it down.
One time we get it, look what happened.
We didn't even get it.
Magic.
We still haven't figured out how to say Arc Analysis.
We remembered it. Published by Dynamite Comics or Dynamite Entertainment. Sorry, 2011. Written by Guy Ritchie. You ready for this? Guy Ritchie, Andy Diggle, Jeff Parker. Drawn by Marcus Singh, Ron Randall, Ron Chan. This was a little longer than I expected.
This is too long.
This was your pick.
I regret that.
I thought it was fun, man. I liked it. The tone changes halfway through.
Tone? Jesus.
Yeah, the tone really changes halfway through.
It's two different movies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's where I kind of had. So maybe it's almost like maybe we should have read it, but it was introduced as one. Like this is the compendium, right? So it's like here's the 10 issues.
Right.
Read them. They didn't say volume 1, volume 2, which they probably should have. But
yes.
Anyway, a family escapes Chechnya to a stable farm or to a stable/farm out in the wilds of Scotland with their gamekeeper, Brock, taking in orphans for help around the property to stay a secret. Until one day, the reason why they are hiding away in the backwoods of Scotland comes to be known and ends up being their undoing. That's what I wrote that during the first few issues.
You wrote that?
Yes.
I was going to say that panel is the blurb that you just read is the most interesting thing about the comic. Because that does not come across in what we have to read in 3 omnibuses or wherever the jump.
It's one omnibus. But it's 2 volumes, so it's like 5 issues each. Yeah. Is it 3 volumes? I thought it was 2. And it doesn't matter. We read 10 issues. It's 10 issues.
I read it in 3 collections. And those are tasks to get through. Yeah. It didn't need to be 10 issues. It didn't need to be 3 volumes. It's too long for what you're trying to get across. And ultimately, I don't think it's that interesting.
I liked it at the beginning a lot. Because it was kind of dark and gloomy and you didn't know what was going on. As things started to unravel, it started to get a little less interesting. And then as more characters started, you saw the Guy Ritchie in it. Right? Because all these cast of characters and they're all colorful and you know they're all names and they have names like Wicket. And I don't know if that's his name, but that's and, the twins.
Mandela.
Mandela, yeah, because he's from South Africa.
Listen, and then the one guy is always like, caps in your asses.
Yeah, that guy was annoying as hell. The Creeper twins, that's what it was, the Creeper twins.
This for me seemed like a first draft of a script.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think.
The dialogue was terrible for me.
The first few issues when it just follows Brock, who's the main guy, I thought that was a cap. Like I was engaged.
There's a story there. There's a narrative. They're following a through line. Fine. It's kind of slow, but if you're going for pacing and building tension, you're on the right track. Then it flips to be like, we got to introduce 10 characters
at once. Yeah. And then it was like they were trying to steal. Sorry, you go finish what you thought.
No, it's just me bitching about shit. So say whatever good you want to say about it.
No, it wasn't good. It was just I was just saying how I was kind of laying the land. The first, like I guess 4 issues are all about Brock and how he works for Jonah and Amanda Morgan, the family that owns the farm, and he's their gamekeeper. He does work around the thing, and then he brings in orphans, like I was saying, to help work with them. And then one orphan double crosses them, and he works for some Russian syndicate. And then things go crazy, and then he goes like Rambo, and I was like, this is cool. Or maybe not Rambo, but he goes like one man army,
sleeper agent.
Yeah, and I was like, "This is dope." And then all of a sudden, after about 3 or 4 issues of that, and you as you learn more about him, you learn how he lost his son and what he was in for, and why the Russians attacked the farm. Then they switch it on you, and there's like a painting heist, and they introduce you, like you say, in 10 characters, and like I was like, why are they giving us a name? So it took me like 2 issues to clue in, like, oh, these guys are sticking around. I thought it was like
Yeah,
one of those. I thought it was gonna be one of those comedic things where it's like they introduce all these guys to give them backstories, and then they're immediately killed off.
that would have been great. That would have best mislead, like the MacGruber of like we got to assemble these guys and put them
Yes,
in the van and then blow them up.
great shout out.
That would have been genius for this book to be like you
Yeah,
don't need these guys at all. Like it was just about this guy killing everybody.
and then so they end up on a bit of a collision course, Brock and the team. I like that part again because it was Brock, and I thought he was going to start killing them all off one by one. I was like, oh, so they introduced them so that we could we felt like we knew them as they were dying. But he
Right.
kills the twins that we didn't know anything about, like we knew the least about, and then
Yeah.
everybody else like, oh, let's just. I'm skipping a bunch of stuff, but it's like, oh, let's join up now and go against this Russian mob, and it's like, oh, okay. And then there's all these like twists and turns that I didn't think it was that bad, but I was like, where's the first few issues again?
It's unearned. Like a lot of
Yeah,
things for being so long,
yeah,
the fact that you pulled the rug out from under us in like the third act, quote unquote, the third act, doesn't make sense because you could have been peppering all these characters along the path if you really wanted to. One, two, this shows that it has too many writers.
yeah.
Like I think we like books that are just singular writer and singular artist because you can stay with that team and understand the narrative that you're building. 3 writers and 3 artists, it shows. There's too much going on, and when there's not too much going on, there's nothing going on. But those are 2 completely different storylines that don't fit together. But at some point, someone's like, "Okay, like these guys got to meet these guys," and it doesn't match. So like, I'm frustrated on the fact that this is a director, so he knows about pacing, he knows about
Mhm.
storyboarding, he knows about building characters, and either of these 2 stories by themselves would have been more interesting than trying to glob them together. So, like, I regret that this was my pick. I was really hoping that you were going to forget that and say this was your pick because I didn't enjoy this book.
No, and this has been in the chamber for a while too. It keeps getting
Yeah,
pushed back, and you're like, let's get a Guy Ritchie thing. I was like, dope. That's a great idea. When you talk about 3 writers, I always wonder when they do this. They're like, oh, here's the first volume, and these are the writers. Who wrote what? Like, how does that work? Does Guy Ritchie write 2 issues, and then the other guy writes 2 issues, and then Diggle writes, or is it Guy Ritchie writes the story, and then Diggle handles the dialogue, and then
maybe.
Jeff Parker like kind of fills in, like they don't really tell you that, and that's what I'd like to know. Sometimes they do. They say, "Oh, story by,"
Yeah.
and then dialogue by, but they didn't really do that in at least on the outside of this omnibus.
Yeah, I wouldn't take credit for dialogue. If I'm one of the writers, I'm not taking credit for dialogue. A lot of, other than the annoying characters, a lot of the dialogue is plain and like this is a fast book, right? It's not heavy exposition,
No.
but there's not a lot being said. So like it's serviceable when it comes to the artwork because it leads you on sort of a flow of the narrative and what's happening. But the characters aren't captivating or interesting other than like the titular character. And even like for me, he was like just like super bland. Like I got who he
Yes.
was in like 2 minutes. It's like I don't care about anything else now. And then when you try to introduce these lively characters, but they all kind of sound alike and they're all doing the same thing and they all have the same sort of power sets, quote unquote power sets. But the only difference is the actual visual look of it. I was like, so like this is just bullshit. What I think to your point of like how this broke down is probably Guy Ritchie had an idea for a movie that he was potentially thinking he could write out, but only had like the bare bones and then pass it to a friend who helped fill it out. Because every time that we do these type of comic books that are with actors or directors, it's usually just like a quick lookbook to see if they can get production money to turn it into a movie.
Mm.
So I can see Guy Ritchie being like, I got this idea about this one guy or I got an idea about these group of guys that are stealing a painting, and that's it. He just has the framework of there's this idea here, and then pass it on to somebody else who maybe is more inclined with stories and well, I don't want to say dialogue because dialogue was terrible, but comic books to like sort of weave together his initial thoughts and his IP and maybe some characters into like another world, but they're fighting each other. Like it doesn't work for how it started to how it finished. Because if it finished the way it started, at least I could be like, okay, cool. There's a theme here. Like there's a arc and there was a understanding of from the first frame. Like it looks distinct and dark and kind of man out in the wilderness and like it's just him and his gun sort of thing, right? And they're using a lot of monochromatics, right? So it's a lot of deep blues or like stark reds, or then when he has flashbacks to like old country and it's in just snow and like Russia and stuff, like those are cool. So if you're painting the book in red, whites, and blues to like set up who this character is, cool, you can do that. But by the end, it's like bright colors and they're driving around town.
Yeah.
They have quips in vans. It's like these two stories do not go together, and you force them so hard.
I was counting because by the end of it, I was a little let down because of those reasons you just listed. Because I honest to God, thought it was going to be that it was going to end like it started, and the middle was just like, here's an introduction to these cheerful characters.
Yeah.
Now watch Brock kill them all off, but then they lost me when they're like, oh yeah, this one's his son, and I was like, oh,
why?
That was, come on, man. I thought that was me. The final fight was between, and it's like, oh, they go a different direction. How did you feel about the MacGuffin being an equation for a stable containment system for controlled nuclear fusion? I was like, what?
It's such an afterthought.
Unlimited clean energy.
There's no planning for that. Like, where? Why? Who? None of the characters, none of the places that we've been. Like, you're in Chechnya. You could done so many cool things about it. Like, we're on like Chechen in the beginning. I was like, okay, that's fun. Like, if there's a whole Russian story, play in Russia. But there's a French guy for whatever reason. There's a South African guy for whatever reason. So, like, there's like, okay, we can get all of our national geographic nods in. And I was like, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's contrived.
Yeah, because there was, like, I wasn't even sure until, like, the very last issue. Remember they got the mustache?
Yeah. That's French guy.
I was like, who is that guy? I was like, oh, that's a French guy. Yeah. They actually gave him some dialogue, and then you're supposed to care about what he was saying. And I was like, oh. Okay, I'm a little bit lost. I thought they were just going to get all killed off, but...
You couldn't pay me to care about any of those characters. I wish they took your idea of killing everybody off.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, that's a cool idea because you introduce everybody and then just knock them all off one at a time.
That's a great movie, too. Like, if you spend your payroll to get all these A-list celebrities and you put them on the poster, and in the first, like, 20 minutes, it's just one guy offering them, then you're like, what the hell? What? And then you follow his story for the rest of the movie? I'm in, man.
That's what I thought it was going to be. Because it was very, like, at the beginning, it was very, like, to me, it felt Revenant, kind of.
Yeah.
But, like, a bit, just adjacent. Revenant adjacent. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like you said, man in the wilderness with his weapons, his know-how, his dark past. He lost his son, but it's like, oh, his son's not really that dead. And also, it connects to these guys who just happen to be looking for this unlimited clean energy equation that this guy has. And I was like, I don't know. This is a little too convenient.
I wanted them to lean into, so to your kind of comparison, I got a little bit of Hannah and a little bit of The Road.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I wanted to be apocalyptic and just like, oh, he's dire. But I kind of like the whole survival mentality. And then like you're training that to this young child of yours, and like they're going to turn into like even crazier psychopath of you. But then like it livens up. And, like they basically turn on the light and they're like, okay, everything's okay now.
Like immediately.
And it's not. So.
And then the main character doesn't fit in that story anymore. And it's like,
we got to get this painting though. Put your gas mask on. And like there's a whole caper. And it's like, this is not, I don't want Ocean's 11 now.
Yeah.
Why?
It's Guy Ritchie, so it has to have crime. It can't just be a guy. And I was like,
murder's crime. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. No, but it has to have a colorful cast of characters.
Does it?
Winston.
It's not good. I don't like it. And it's too long for something that's not heavy exposition. Because we read, like, remember reading Fantastic Four? Like, those are bogged in with. But that wasn't long. That didn't overstay its welcome. They just gave you so much information because there was so much characters.
It's got the exact opposite.
They spent time going through the forest and walking with characters. And, like, characters literally are like, I don't like you. It's like, I don't like you either. Keep walking and walking. Like, and then we're going to... What is it right here? And then we're going to make him eat his own fucking eyeballs. Like, that's the one good line. And it's not even a good line because it came on the heels of, like, I found him, right? The artwork is serviceable. Like, it's fine. you're not gonna get a lot of interesting. But there was one panel that reminded me of Sin City, and it's black, and then it's like green rain, and one of the dudes is putting his boot on the guy's face.
Yep.
And it was the most interesting. Like I stopped to look at it. I was like, this comic could have been this.
Yeah.
So in every opportunity to take a chance, whether it was artwork, whether it was dialogue, or whether it was the story, nothing was achieved. Nobody was like, hey, let's just do something different. They just like played it by numbers, and I can't wait to forget this book.
Maybe that's the Diggle effect, because you know how I feel about any Diggle book.
Like this is not consistently like his style, right? Like
no,
this is just a bad decade for him.
Yeah, and I'm just fucking around you too. But at the same time, it's like you had something. Maybe. You had something, and I don't think I hated it as much as you did, because I think the beginning, I'm like giving it the benefit of the doubt because I enjoyed the beginning so much.
Yeah, you like slow burns.
I do,
and it was ultimately building towards that.
And it was, and then it was like, oh no, here's this colorful cast of characters. And I was kind of like. But because I liked the beginning, I was a little more forgiving of that. But by the end, I was like, "Man, this is so like what are we doing here? What's going on?"
It literally flips from a could-be graphic novel into like a cartoon.
Yes, yeah.
And like what? Like who changed the channel? This is the same show. This doesn't make sense. I'm just taken aback, right? I'm just like, I have to keep reading this now. Like I spent all this time investing in this one character who is boring and bland, but like he's a good shot, right? And like they're doing some kind of cool stuff.
It was fun watching him just off people, like in the forest when he had that one, you know, they assaulted the farmland. He had the one team, and then he picked up the receiver and he was listening. Like that was cool. Even the van stuff when he was fighting the annoying guys, like that is cool because I think he's gonna kill. And then it just goes to a whole different direction. Like you said, Ocean's 11, and I was like,
it's mind boggling how either a writer came in and changed everything that was previously there, or nobody believed in the original idea to just follow through with it.
Here's a good idea. Let's turn it on its head.
Yeah, or nobody was funny enough to be like, hey, let's just kill all these guys that we don't even like because they're just playing a caper.
I think that would have been dope, man. But, you know, what can you do with that? Anyways, we rate these on a good... You have anything else to say? Because
how much more do you want to shit on this? No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just going around. So we rate these on a good or bad basis. Boom for good, ba for bad, or whoosh for what I just read. I'm balancing. I'm going to give it a whoosh because I don't know what I just read.
I'm glad you're giving it that. One of us need to say it. I'm giving it a hard ba. It's bad. But it could really qualify for the whoosh.
To me, because I was really into it.
It just changes. It just changes. I was never into it, and then it changes, and then I didn't enjoy what it changed into.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is really bad.
Because it was like, I thought I was reading a different book at one point. I was like, what's going on? What happened to Brock? And I was like, oh.
Now, Coke.
Okay.
Is this worse than AVPVTV? I've already said that wrong. Is this worse than Aliens versus Predators versus Terminators?
No, because there was actually something here, and then they ruined it themselves. AVPVT just didn't need to exist.
Now, is this worse than Ninjets, which is still the bottom line that we...
Ninjets offended me. This just like startled me. I keep saying that. Like that movie, I was mad that I read that book. This one, I was just mad that halfway through, I was like, what is this?
You're mad that they didn't follow through. I'm mad that they weren't more interesting. And you know what? Like just cutting it down. Like sometimes movies are too long, and if you cut it down, at least the audience can stay with it. If this was shorter, I'd be like, all right, this wasn't great, but it was quick.
It could have ended. It could have like that. You know the issue where they introduce you to the crew.
Yeah.
If that was just like the last issue, and it was just Brock getting revenge or whatever, and he finds out what happens to his son, and then ends there. I was like, oh, all right. Well, that's what we're reading now. Okay, that's cool.
Sure. And then like teases you into like another story. Yeah. Like, oh, you want more? These guys are going to take over.
Exactly. No, didn't have the wherewithal for that. They just.
You are not a writer and found 2 ways to improve this comic after reading it one time.
While I was reading it too, I was like, just kill these guys off. It'd be so fun.
Rule of thumb for listeners. If it has more than 2 writers, be wary.